Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Cumberland School Committee meeting tonight, Thursday, September 25th, 2025, at the Cumberland High School Transitional Building at 7:14 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Consent agenda, approval of the, approval of agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Smith, second by Mr. Bacon. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. I need to state for the record that Mr. Dean is absent this evening. Consent agenda, approval of minutes, regular meeting 9/11/2025, executive session meeting 9/11/2025, school bus inspection report 9/5/2025. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Shea, second by Ms. Feather. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Report out of executive session meeting. Report out of executive session meeting on 9/25/2025. Report out of executive session votes. There were no votes taken. Vote to seal minutes of executive session. Can I have a motion to seal the minutes? Motion by Ms. Goldstein,
Second.
second by Ms. Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Personnel announcements. Dr.
Evening,
Thornton.
Madam Chair, tonight that would be me. First, we have two resignations on for this evening. Effective 9/18/2025, Michelle Blanding, paraprofessional at Garvin. Effective 9/19/2025, Deborah Rice, ELA Essentials at McCourt. And three appointments tonight. We have effective 8/29/2025, Jennifer Vincent, Library Media STEM, .5 at BF Norton, 1 year only. Effective 9/29/2025, Stephanie Vingy, Math Interventionist at Community, 1 year only. And lastly, effective 9/22/2025, Nicole Cabral, paraprofessional, ICANN at McCourt.
Thank you. And I think Ms. Smith has a question?
Dr. Thornton, is the ICANN position a new position, or is it replacing somebody else? Because I know that we've been growing that program.
It's a current program we have at McCourt.
Right, and so is it a new position within the program?
I'm hearing yes.
Thank you. Thank you, I did, thank you, Ms. Strom.
All right.
And Superintendent's report, Dr. Thornton?
Thank you. That's me once again. First, I'll call up Ms. Coughlin for the first item. We have a retirement.
So I am here to talk about one of our TAs that I've worked with for a very long time. I think we were together approximately 10 years, but she's worked in the district since 2008. Manuela Silver is her name. Manny is not here tonight, but I still want to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about Manny. She spent many years in Cumberland, and she definitely is special to all of us at North Cumberland Middle School. She started her career as a teaching assistant in 2008. We were fortunate enough to welcome her to North Cumberland Middle School at 2015. Since then, she's been a steady, caring presence in the lives of so many students and staff. Her kindness, patience, and commitment have made a lasting impact on our school community. Whether it was offering encouragement, lending a helping hand, simply brightening up someone's day. I asked Mrs. Rayo, so when we think about Manny, what's the first thing that we think of? And both of us said, she's always smiling. So that's something that I wanted to make sure that we highlighted. She's shown what it means to truly support and care for children. So on behalf of the entire school, I want to thank Manny Silva for everything that she's given us. I want to wish her nothing but happiness, health, and joy in her retirement.
And Ms. Coughlin will happily give her beach bag, so I will present that to Ms. Coughlin. Next up, pleased to announce we have some Alpha Delta Kappa mini grants, and the Garvin team's actually here tonight. Now, these folks don't want to come up. Mike, if you could pan around. We do have Leah Hogan and Erin Auclair. If you could wave. So these teachers, the grant will support school-wide PBIS with the purchase of wavy inflatables and strobe party lights for fun incentives to reward positive student behavior, building excitement and pride across our school community. So great job, Garvin, on that award. Also, we have grade 2 at Ashton, Lauren Durante. The grant for Lauren will be used to purchase garden beds for the outdoor area. In second grade, we learn about plants and how they grow, living and non-living things. Having this hands-on experience so close to the classroom for all second grade classes will be helpful for our science lessons. So congratulations, Ashton School and Lauren.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
So it's to Leah and Aaron. Is that like this guy? Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Nice job.
All right, great job. Just a quick plug, as you know, it's the flu season's coming upon us, so we have our clinics coming up. The first of 3, October 8th from 4 to 7 p.m. As you know, the flu is the featured shot. There's still some question over COVID shot availability. As you know, you can get it at CVS, but not necessarily yet on the statewide program, but we're still asking about that to see when that'll change. Right now, it is the flu clinic, and it's October 8th, 4 to 7. Next up, we have upcoming ribbon cuttings. The preschool center, Ms. Powell's here tonight. It's October 8th at 4 o'clock, so if you want to come out and see the preschool all set up, and it's a new permanent home, October 8th at 4. And community school, the final renovation, October 15th at 5 p.m. So we're excited about both those ribbon cuttings. And we had another ribbon cutting. We had the Ashton Playground open up last week. It's our third playground. So here's a shot of all the kids playing after we opened it up. It was very exciting. I think we had Miss Smith and Miss Goldstein there on the sides there holding the ribbon. So thank you for coming out. So that was really nice to see. And last but not least, a few months ago, I know in exec session, the committee heard from the middle school administrators about discipline. I know they wanted to maybe share some of that in open session with the folks. So I invited the admin team back, and tonight they're going to talk about discipline at the middle level. So I'll turn it over to the middle school team.
Thank you, Dr. Thornton, and good evening, school committee. So like Dr. Thornton said earlier, in the school year, in the summer, the teams had an opportunity to go in front of executive session to explain our procedures when it comes to handling discipline. And we thought it'd be a great idea to bring it to open session, as Dr. Thornton said, and to share it with the community. And we have a video that we are going to show that gives a nice brief overview of how the procedures and how we follow policies in regards to discipline. And this is something that Ms. Coughlin and I will be sending out to parents to help them clear the air a little bit in regards to our procedures with discipline.
Have you ever wondered what really happens when a student gets sent to the office? You know, for parents, it can sometimes feel like a total black box. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify the student incident process at Cumberland Middle School. We'll break down exactly how they handle discipline from the very beginning to the very end.
So right off the bat, we've got to talk about a huge shift in philosophy. On one hand, you have the old school way, the punitive model. That was all about punishment, blame, and kicking kids out. But on the other hand, you have the restorative approach that Cumberland uses. And this is all about learning from what happened, repairing any harm that was done, and reconnecting students with their school. It's a totally different goal, right?
Okay, so let's dig a little deeper. What does this restorative approach actually look like in the real world? Because really, this is the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about.
And this right here gets to the absolute heart of it. The core belief is that discipline isn't about punishment. It's a teachable moment. So instead of just seeing a broken rule, the school sees a chance for a student to learn something important, to reflect, and to figure out how to handle things better next time. The whole point isn't just to stop a behavior, it's to help them grow from it.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Hearing all this, you might be wondering, geez, is my kid going through this whole process all the time? Is this happening to most students every day? That's a totally fair question. So let's take a look at the actual numbers.
And the data here really tells the story. Turns out the vast majority of students at the middle school get 0 or maybe 1 office referral in an entire year. So this in-depth process we're about to walk through, it's not for every little thing. It's for the exceptions. It's all about providing targeted support where it's needed, not about policing every student. All right, so for that small number of times when an incident does happen that needs an administrator to step in, how does the school actually handle it? Well,
It all kicks off a very clear, very structured response. Before anyone even starts thinking about consequences, before any judgments are made, the process begins with one single, super important goal: to figure out exactly what happened. It's all about a fact-finding mission, not a rush to judgment. And that fact-finding mission, it's not random. Nope. It follows a really specific, transparent set of steps. And this is designed to make sure that everyone's side of the story is heard. So it breaks down into this really clear 4-step process. First, they investigate to get all the details. Second, they get written statements from every student involved, which is huge for getting different perspectives. And get this, if something happens on the bus, they'll actually review the video footage. Third, they go to the student handbook to make sure everything lines up with school policy. And finally, and this is a big one for parents, they communicate with you. That might be an email, a phone call, or even a meeting, just depending on how serious things are. Okay, so that's the process. But how do you make sure the outcome is actually fair? How do you make sure two students in a similar situation get treated in a similar way? Well, that's the next critical piece of this whole puzzle. This is how they avoid just making it up as they go. They use 2 key guidelines to make a decision. First, they look at the egregiousness of the incident, which is just a fancy way of saying, how serious was it? And second, they look at the student's behavior patterns. Like, is this a one-time mistake, or is this something that keeps happening? That context is everything. And the different schools in the district actually talk to each other to make sure they're applying these guidelines consistently. And all of this brings us to what might be the most important part of the entire process. Because it's not really about just handing out a consequence. The real goal is what happens after that. So instead of just focusing on punishment, the school has this whole toolkit of supports to help kids. This might mean using restorative practices, like sitting down and mediating a conflict so students can actually repair the harm. For tougher situations, a student might get a referral to the target team. That's a group of specialists who can offer more focused help. Or maybe it's a program like Check In, Check Out, which gives a student a trusted adult to connect with throughout the day. See? These are all tools designed for growth. And in the end, it all comes back to this one idea, which just sums up the whole philosophy perfectly. The driving question is never just, what's the consequence? It's, what's the teachable moment? It's all about reframing a mistake as a chance for a student to learn, to grow, and to do better next time. It's about turning a negative experience into a real opportunity for positive change.
So I hope you enjoyed it. We enjoyed putting it together. I'll give Ms. Coughlin the credit for leading that up. But, both middle schools, we do consistently talk with each other between Dean Fernandez, Ms. Holman at McCourt, and as well as the North Cumberland team. We're always in communication, making sure, if there's something that we're like, I don't know about this, we definitely work together in making sure we're following all the procedures, all the policies. The consistent communication home is very, very important. And we love to have parents in as well to see, maybe we're missing something, and just have that constant communication with the parents, especially through Target Team, where we have that targeted approach where there's many team members around to make sure that we're giving the students what they need to be successful at the middle school level, to have them become better people. So when they go to the high school, they're ready to rock the high school.
Wonderful, thank you. Questions from the committee? Okay. That was a great presentation. It was very thorough. I love that you talked about the restorative practice and how it works, so we truly appreciate your time with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Reports of standing committees. Fiscal Management Subcommittee, Ms. Smith.
The fiscal subcommittee did meet early this evening. We do have some resolutions and a small payment of the bills that we will discuss a little further.
Thank you. Policy and Procedures Subcommittee, Ms. Feather.
Hi there. Policy and procedures did not meet this past week. Looking to meet early October.
Achievement and Communications Subcommittee, we did meet. We discussed a master schedule, and our next meeting will be October 28th, 2025. District Health and Wellness Subcommittee, Ms. Shea.
We're scheduled to meet on October 9th for our first meeting.
Thank you very much. Comments from the public. Any comments from the public? Okay. New business. Discussion and a vote to approve the 2025-2026 bus routes. Can I have a motion to approve the bus routes? Is-
I have a question
Okay.
about the bus route.
So why don't we have questions first? Okay, so I think Ms. Smith had a question, and then Ms. Shea.
If we could go into discussion on it, yes. So I know that we have in our policy 45 days to approve it once we get it, the school starts and things like that. But I was speaking with Dr. Thornton, and I just had a couple of questions. And one of them is that we typically wait through the first month of September before we make adjustments where maybe children that are walkers can get, put onto a bus and things like that. So is that still on target to be September 29th, Dr. Thornton?
Yes, it is.
And at this time, are you aware of any major changes that may need to occur with any of the buses?
I'd say right now, I mean, it's been a really smooth opening. I know sometimes we hear more about busing when things don't go well, but I think this has been a really good opening. A couple buses, late early on, that's natural, but really Durham did well opening up.
Yeah, no, in light of the fact that we have that September 29th where we wait and then adjustments and tweaks are made, right now, we don't know how many kids could potentially be on the waiting list or if there would be impacts to it. So I cannot make a motion on it, but I would prefer that we table this to our next meeting.
Ms. Shea, then Ms. Smith.
After I was looking over some of the bus stops, especially for our friends at North CMS, is there any way that we can consolidate any of these stops? It looks like, for a great example, is Abbott Run Valley. We've got some group of adjacent side streets. Is there any way that we can kind of do like a cluster stop? It seems like there's a lot of individual household stops, and maybe just consolidating into one might be easier.
What bus number is that?
I'm looking at buses 20 and 21. We also have a couple of buses that are also for Tower Hill, which would be bus 7. They stop at 22, 34, 75, 87, 84 Tower Hill, 107 Tower Hill. Is there a way that we can combine like addresses, like 22 and 34, and then have 75 and 87 and 84 picked up at one location?
I'll have to get back to you. My first blush is these are all done by, number of students in time. So right now, it's, balanced, but we can certainly get back to you if you do table, and even have Ms. Walton available to talk about if hypothetically, if you want to do some combinations. My impression is you'd probably overload a bus or be late getting to a school, but always willing to look at that.
Yeah, because I'm also looking at 66 Pound Road, also 124, 161, and 165. I know 161 is sort of like a duplex maybe type deal. 165 is a single family, and they are all very close in, demographical areas. But I was just kind of curious to see if we can consolidate those into.
What road is that on?
That's Pound Road.
Also, I don't know if Pound Road's in that category. Some roads are not walkable.
Okay, I was
Right.
going to
So
say,
then you can't combine because they have to be picked up at their locations. I'll have to check on Pound. My impression is Pound's not a walkable one.
And we also, that also correlate with Little Pound County as well as Pine Swamp in West Rentham? Okay.
so just to clarify, all the roads that were just mentioned are not walkable by the Cumberland Police Department? Okay,
Yeah, those are all non-walkable areas.
thank you. Ms. Feller?
I was just going to suggest that we table it, that we table the discussion or table the vote because, as Ms. Smith mentioned, we usually wait until after the.
Ms. Goldstein, did you have a question?
I did, but I'm happy to table, I'm happy to consider tabling this and having questions answered. I mean, I can ask my question. My question was more, I'm thinking about the community buses, and I'm just wondering about if we've noticed any impact of bus arrivals, and then buses arriving at bus stops with the Diamond Hill Nate Whipple intersection. Just thinking specifically about, I'm thinking 19, 23, and 36. I don't know if there's been any concern about getting to the bus stops late. That traffic.
Tomorrow we can buses, because Walton's probably at home watching right now as we doing this, and we'll get you the info on 19, 23, and 26? 36, thank you.
So we will table this until the next meeting. Excellent.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry, I gotta cancel. Discussion and a vote to approve resolution, amend town ordinance, chapter 26-8, CS-R-09-2025-03, town ordinance, chapter 26-8. Pleasure of the committee. Ms. Smith.
This ordinance and the adjustment to it that we're going to be requesting from the town is minor, but it's monumental in what had just recently happened at BF Norton, and I think it's very important for us to talk with our town representatives to have this ordinance pushed through so that we can have a little bit more leeway, I guess, for the chief to be able to go in and look at the properties, but then also, you know, just the use of any of the school properties during school hours, we really have never had that tightened up, and I do think that this is a very good opportunity to do that.
Great.
So I would like to make a motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Smith,
Second.
second by Ms. Shea with discussion. I do have, quick thing is, they strike schoolyard, and on the other, second line, they add in any schoolyards during school hours. But Dr.
For the folks at home,
Yeah.
it shall be unlawful for any person to loiter or otherwise be present in any playground, strike the word schoolyard, or other town-owned property during hours determined by the chief of police. Here's a new part. And in any schoolyards during school hours. That's what we want.
Great. So we have a motion by Ms. Smith, a second by Ms. Shea. Ms. Shea was second, second by Ms. Shea. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Discussion and/or vote to approve police detail at BF Norton, resolution SC-PR-09-2025-133. Dr. Thornton?
Madam Chair, as you know, we had the situation at BF a few weeks back. After that point, we did put a police detail at the BF location right in the front where the play area is. As you know, BF is the only school right now where we're actually physically playing adjacent to a street location. So I did meet with the safety team, and they concurred that it would be, we think, a good idea to have you consider adding a detail for the year at BF. So that's something I'm recommending to you. And essentially, you would see the police car in the front as the students are playing in an area, and that'll also be assisting other parts during the other parts of the day as well. So that's our recommendation to you, both myself and the safety team.
Pleasure of the committee.
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Shea,
Second.
second by Mr. Bacon. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. I did not see home and school instruction requests when I looked earlier. Discussion and a vote to approve memorandum of agreement for foster grandparent program. Dr. Thornton?
Have that in your drive. Mr. Adams did review that. It's a program out of West Warwick, and they're looking to do some volunteering over at Ashton. I recommend that you approve.
Pleasure of the committee. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, motion by Mr. Bacon? Okay.
Second with discussion.
Second by Ms. Shea with discussion. Ms. Shea?
What would be the difference between having our senior center, I guess, coexist with AmeriCorps in order for that to kind of be a local ordeal instead of having friends come all the way from West Warwick?
I guess we were approached by this organization for Ashton. Should Cumberland approach us, we'd happily look at that as well.
Is there an opportunity for us to kind of spread the wealth amongst the other elementary schools with this, or is this kind of just like a pilot at Ashton?
I believe this ask is just for Ashton at the moment.
I actually think it may even be more specific that the person they're seeking to partner with Ashton is either a former Cumberland resident It's something very specific. I remember something that Nydia suggested. That's the reason, because this particular person, this particular volunteer has a Cumberland connection.
I do have a couple questions. Are you good, Ms. Shea?
I'm good.
Okay. What is our liability as a school department? Are these people comprehensive background check, BCI,
Yes, it's in the agreement. They do the BCI in their end. I can pass it down.
and fingerprints, right?
It's
All right.
all in there.
And they're never left alone, always accompanied by someone?
Yeah, the the grandparents cannot be in charge of instruction or alone with students, no. It's all in the agreement.
Ms. Shea? Sorry. Fine.
In the event that, is there like a substantial amount of people that are interested in wanting to volunteer at Ashton? Or is it kind of just one group, small group of people?
I believe it's one small group. I don't have an exact number.
Okay. And, okay, never mind. Okay, thank you.
So we had a motion, oh, Ms. Goldstein, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Is this going to be throughout Ashton, or is it specific to, say, like the PALS program, or?
Say, as I read the agreement, it's in the Ashton building, so I think they would have the latitude to be in the building.
Ms. Smith?
There's not a financial impact in any way. They're volunteering, and then it looks like maybe perhaps AmeriCorps gives them a small stipend or of some sort. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's $0 for us.
Ms. Feather? Ms. Shea, did you have a question? And then Ms. Feather.
I know that the contract is, it looks like it's going from September 25 of, all the way up to December of 27. But in the event that something were to happen with, I guess, with this entity, with places shut down all the time, what do we do when it comes to like this contract? Like, are we kind of just left high and dry if they choose that they no longer can fulfill like a volunteerism, or how does this work?
Or is there an easy exit strategy if we do not want to go further on the contract? Is that?
Yeah.
I think I defer to the attorney, but do you have the
It does?
contract now?
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense.
It says what you have to do when there is a volunteer, but it doesn't say thou shall, meaning Cumberland School Department, have a volunteer, or have two volunteers, or have 5 volunteers. So if you have a volunteer, this governs. runs that entity.
Right.
So it's entirely up to the school department to do it. And as I had understood, as I said, the architecture of it was, there's this one person who has a Cumberland connection. But I would limit it.
Mhm.
You don't know where it's going to go. I have no reason to believe this is some conspiracy theory or some horrible thing. But
No.
why not just have it for a year?
Thank you. Ms. Allen?
Yeah, so I have not heard about this prior to this being on the agenda, and I was looking at it, and I don't understand where the need is coming from, and also where the need is coming from, where the ask is coming from, and if there were someone here to tell us a little bit more about the impetus for this program, I'd be more apt to say yes to it, but right now, it just looks like we're inviting AmeriCorps in for what reason? So, I just know for me, I'm not going to be voting in favor of this tonight.
So if I can, I think that's.
And I agree with the language of
Yeah.
the what you were saying.
I think it would be great to have either the person, I know this came to Nydia, and again, I keep harping on this, there is as I understand it, and I could be wrong, so that's also important, because I'm not the person intent upon this, but as I understand it, there's this person who has a Cumberland connection, but it might be good to have Nydia, or maybe the person who drafted this comes so that you have some understanding, and you can see the person. I don't think that's crazy. I think that's smart, personally.
Ms. Feather?
Yeah, that was I don't think that it's, again, just smart of us to, I'm agreeing with you. I don't think it's smart of us to just kind of say yes to this thing that we literally have no one here. And no one here to talk about, and also all we're doing is looking at a contract, asking you to interpret it. So.
Thank you. Ms. Smith and Ms. Shea? No, Mrs. Olivia. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Was it via AmeriCorps? Yes. Okay.
So, okay, they'll speak on it, and then Ms. Smith.
So we had Grandma Patty, and then there was somebody else, Grandma Michelle, and they lived, I want to say, either in Bear Hill Village or Chimney Hill, and they were retired teachers, and they came in and worked in Elizabeth's classroom. So I can have her speak to what they helped her with, but they came in 2 days a week, and we had no financial obligation. AmeriCorps paid them. AmeriCorps would come in and have meetings with the teachers to see what they were doing. The teachers evaluated them. So I'll let Elizabeth speak more of it, but we have worked with them before, and actually they reached out to me today because they have a Spanish-speaking grandma who would like to volunteer too. So I was going to reach out to you about that tomorrow, but.
So my grandma doesn't come anymore because she moved to Warwick. So she doesn't come, but she was wonderful. She read to the kids. She was in the cafeteria with the kids. She ate with the kids. The kids saw her as their grandmother. So it was just another positive adult person in their lives. It was a great experience for me. She just took one kid, two kids. She was never left alone with the kids. And it was great. I have nothing but positive things to say about the foster grandparent program.
Great feedback. Thank you very much. Ms. Smith?
I think the idea is a great idea, and having that and the extra opportunities for volunteers. I somewhat echo what Mrs. Feather is saying, and I would prefer to have somebody here. And in addition to that, something that Ms. Shea brought up that has been brought up in the past, and that is, what can we do to get involved with our own senior center, and what kind of program can we do? And I think that if AmeriCorps has this program, then maybe that can be a supplement that we can have that discussion with them if there is a member here to discuss it, where they could reach out with our senior center, where we could expand it so that we have more people in the town, because we know that a lot of the people would be interested, but we just haven't gotten the approach out there in the right way, and maybe AmeriCorps is that bridge for us. So I would agree with what Mrs. Feather's saying, and this could add to that if we could have them at our next meeting to have those discussions for planning.
Mr. Bacon? So I'm hearing from the committee that we will table it to the next meeting and have someone here to speak about it. But I do understand that we have had the AmeriCorps organization within our school system previous to this this MOU. Okay, thank you. And I did miss something, and I do apologize. I just checked. There is discussion or vote to approve homeschool instruction request for the 25-26 school year. Do I have a motion to approve homeschool instruction?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Smith,
Second.
second by Ms. Feather. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Discussion or vote to approve resolutions. Ms. Smith?
Yes, we have 10 resolutions on the agenda this evening. Resolution number 9, SCPR 09-2025-131 is being tabled. We don't have all the information on that, so we're going to table that one. We did discuss all the other resolutions in our fiscal this evening, and they did pass 2-0, and I would move passage of all of them.
Ms. Smith makes a motion to pass amended SC-PR-OA-2025-101, SC-PR-09-2025-124 to 130, tabling 131, and approving 132. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Bacon? Was that that? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Discussion and or vote to approve payment of bills. Ms. Smith?
Yes, we did have payment as bills tonight, and it is for the Chartwell bill. As we know, we do that on the second meeting of the month. I should have given this update earlier, especially for Mrs. Feather. Chartwells did come in. They're carrying on just like they did last year, real high volume. They opened up a Sonos station, which they said they're doing several hundred students a day here at the high school. My understanding is that is like a chipotle without saying it. It's the nachos, it's the meats, it's all the different things, and it's been a huge hit. They also added another panini machine because we know that Mrs. Feather has been really into that. So they're pre-making several different types of paninis in one station while also having the individual station for making them, and that has serviced quite a bit too. So we're off to a great start. The bill that we have though is for the month of August, and it is for $70,046.82, and that did come before fiscal, and it was approved 2-0. So I would move passage of that.
Ms. Smith makes a motion to approve payment of bills in the amount of $70,046.82. Do I have a second?
Second with a thank you.
Second by Ms. Feather. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Dr. Thornton, do we need to go into executive session?
We do not.
Do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Mr. Bacon, second by Ms. Feather. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. We adjourn at 7:53 PM.